Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. So, we've got more properties in Socorro County, more properties in the Rancho Rio Grande subdivision. These are 5 and 10 acre lots priced at $2,500 and $5,000 respectively, $500 an acre. I dislike being redundant and saying the same thing in every video that I do. Unfortunately, we've just had a lot of these coming out, and I feel lazy if I don't make a video. So I'm going to do another one of these about these properties, but we're going to repost that on all of the remaining Socorro lots because they are all basically on the same street, in the same subdivision, in the same county, so all of the information will be consistent for all of these properties. Anyway, all right, let's get to it, guys. As always, come down here on the table, click on the GPS coordinates. It's going to bring this property up on a map. Before I get to that, I just want to show you the horses that you see photographed here and the fence that you see photographed here. When you bring this up on a map, the hard-hitting stallion quarter horse breeders are essentially parallel this property. I believe they have all of this land over here. Now, these 5 acres basically extends from Harrison Road to this thing right here. So it comes nowhere near where the horses are, but the horses do seem to wander out to here, and right there is where the fencing is, at least according to our photographer. So your property would stop, if you bought this property, it would stop well before where the fencing is, but the fencing is over here. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. All that being said, all right. So the property right here is located off of this Harrison Road. As with all of the roads, the north-south roads within the subdivision, these are all pretty well maintained. If you come to our photo gallery, you'll be able to see what the road looks like out there. Obviously, this is a very easy to navigate, easy to traverse type of road, no matter what type of vehicle you have. So very easy to get out to the property. Coming back to the map here, just want to talk about this. So the Rancho Rio Grande subdivision is one that begins up here in Valencia County, goes down here to Socorro County, basically covers all this space here, and it predates the time when Valencia County didn't exist. So the developer essentially came into Socorro County, which at the time was all of this, subdivided all the land, chopped it all up into very generous 5 acre lots. So you're going to have a lot of land here to do with what you please. But basically the whole subdivision are 5 acre lots. So we were fortunate enough to pick up a few down here, and these tend to be enviable properties that sell pretty quickly. And they, for a lot of reasons. One is because you have easy access up here to Belen. You're right outside Belen, right outside Los Lunas. So easy access to, shopping, groceries, supplies, whatever you need. There's a super Walmart up in Los Lunas. As well as, medical, schools, churches, etc. But you also have easy access to the 25, and you're only about roughly 30 minutes south of Albuquerque. So very easy to hop on the highway, get up to Albuquerque, or just take the nearby Rio Metro. They've got stops in Belen, Los Lunas, etc. All that being said, the big selling point of these properties, what we find with all our buyers, and the reason these things tend to sell so fast, is that as per our headline, there are 0 planning and zoning restrictions up here. If you go to the Socorro County website, their government website, they don't have a formal planning and zoning office, but what they do have is this information. And what they say is that Socorro County does not have a zoning or permitting ordinance. At this time, there are no county regulations or restrictions on the use of real property. So basically, this land is perfect for anybody who wants to do any kind of, tiny home, shipping container home, one of these prefab homes. If you want to just go park an RV, live out of it indiscriminately, you will be able to do that out there. Now, of course, Socorro County goes to the trouble to say if you need a building permit, that's not our jurisdiction. You have to talk to the the state office about that. And anything having to do with drilling a well or installing any sort of septic system, it's best to talk to the New Mexico Environmental Department about that. They're going to have their own rules and guidelines and permits you need to apply for and such. But as far as what the well's connected to, or what the sewer line is connected to, that is not that's not something that they worry about in Socorro County. So it gives you a lot of freedom to do a lot of things that you can't do in other parts of New Mexico. Simultaneously, if you come back to the photo gallery here, we have at the bottom of each listing page, the photos we get are from the properties. The photos that we get taken are from the exact property itself. So if you scroll through this, you're going to be able to get a sense of what the land looks like out here. And the nice thing about this area, as you can see, is this is all very flat, buildable terrain. So it's going to be very easy to get to, as we pointed out earlier, navigate your way out there, number one. Number two, build whatever you want. This isn't an area where you have to come in and grade or get rid of a lot of rocks, or, it's very easy to build on, is my point. I also just want to point out to you guys quickly that you can see power lines here in the background, these commercial power lines. These power lines, hang on a second, you can see them here on the map. Basically, they run the length of this right here. So they don't cross over the property. Even if they did, they're commercial power lines. If you want to get power installed out there, you're going to have to talk to the local utility company about getting some sort of power pole, power line put on the property. Though I will quickly point out what I find interesting. I have no idea if this is abandoned or what the deal is out here, but if you look very closely on this property, and I know you're going to be like, that looks like a smudge on the map. I know it looks like a smudge, but I do this professionally. I find, power lines on Google Maps, and this looks very much like a power pole out here on this property right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if your neighbor has something. Who knows if it's operational? I don't know. That's something you'll have to investigate on your own. But even if it's not, my understanding is it's not difficult to get power out here, to get the power company to come out and put something down there for you. I would also point out that the nearest power lines, if not this guy over here, are about roughly 3 miles up the road at, hang on, let's measure distance, at this property. Yeah, about 3 miles up the road here at this property, which is not to say that it's close necessarily, but it gives you a sense of the fact that there are other people living out here and there are other people who, have power out at their properties. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all this said, if you want to purchase this property from us, it's very easy to do. Just come here, click on the Buy Now button. It's going to bring up a secure checkout page. Enter all the information that we need to write up the new deed, legal name for deed, as well as your tax address, etc. Do that on this page. Click the next button, and then we're going to ask for a credit or debit card to check out with. If you do not have a credit or debit card, if you do not trust credit or debit cards, contact our offices at 702-919-7170, and we will help you figure out a way to pay for this. But once we have your payment, within 24 hours, you're going to have documentation from us. A copy of a new deed we're going to need you to approve, along with some other things. Once you tell us it's good, we spelled your name right, and everything's copacetic, we will autograph and notarize it and mail it off to the county to be recorded. And from start to finish, it's about 3 weeks before the thing is in your hands, the recorded deed is in your hands. But as far as we're concerned, as far as we have money from you, the land is yours. Go do as you desire. All right, with all that said, hopefully I covered all the points. I know I went through it quickly, but I've done so many of these Socorro videos, you'll have to pardon me on that. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell, and you'll be able to hear all the latest and greatest videos from the Disembodied Voice when we release them. Thank you, guys.